My name is Adam Gill, and my business is about digital marketing. So I work as a digital marketing consultant where I go into businesses and kind of refresh and revive their digital presence online to ensure their branding is consistent and to ensure they're generating leads and inquiries and able to survive in this day and age as the digital marketing is getting stronger and moving forward. What the microcredit loan did for me was, being part of this program, is allowed me to cover the important things that I didn't actually think about in the original stage, which was insurance and the accounting fees, which I think when you first start without any revenue coming in can be the most, it can be very costly. So that was able to cover that for 12 months, so I didn't even have to think about that. So I could go out and do what I do best, which was generate business, help clients, and go from there. My plans for the future is to take it from local to go to national. And I've always wanted the flexibility I can do my work wherever I am. So I could move to Sydney and still maintain my clients, move to Melbourne and still maintain my clients. So just to get it bigger, better, and make a program and a product that's cost effective, that's based on return on investment, that will help businesses thrive through the digital age.
So Adam, can you tell us, how did you actually find out about the microcredit loan program?
One of my friends, Sam, who is a part of it as well, he started off a business and he came here and he got a microcredit loan and some advice, and he heard, that was a few months before I started doing it, and he heard about it, and then he mentioned it to me and goes, no, you should see these guys first, because when I spoke to them I figured out all these things that I didn't even think about, and that helped him out. So he recommended that to me. I came out and simply did the same thing.
Some of the trouble that people have when starting a business is actually knowing what they, or finding out what they don't in fact know. How did you actually tackle that side of things? How did you find out the information about registering a business and starting online and marketing and all of the kinds of things that every business needs to know about?
From when I started working, when I was 18, I studied design and marketing, and I worked in various different sales positions. But as I worked for the company, I kind of worked in a different way. I always asked questions for people in management positions and owners and whatnot, just about how the business worked. I was always interested in that. So I kind of gathered the pieces. There was an exercise as well when I worked for a local company. This was about 5 years ago, and there was an online company, and they basically said, here's an exercise, I want you to write every single thing down a business owner has to think about before they build their website. And I remember that exercise, and the list was extremely long, to the point where I didn't remember doing my own business. And that's where I kind of got into it, and so I knew majority of the stuff, the legal stuff, not all the legal stuff besides insurance, most of the stuff to set up. But until you actually do it and you speak with experienced people, you just can't think of anything. Our knowledge doesn't stretch that far initially, and that's why I came here. And then you're able to shed light on the things I didn't think about, and then I was able to then take care of all that, so then I could focus properly.
So how did you go about finding your first customer?
I basically just went into hunter mode, where I had to think about, first off, what I wanted to offer, and then I needed to think about what I wanted to offer, the type of client that would utilise that, and kind of figure out a space and then figure out my own niche in the market. So it happened to be that I wanted to help with digital presence in Canberra, and then I figured that my knowledge was very, very good in the health industry. So I was thinking of businesses, and because it's extremely competitive as well in the health and gym industry, I kind of go, cool, this is how competitive it is, this is actually what they need to help them. So I came up with a product based on that. And then I was able to then find all the businesses, in Canberra, and then I just went one-to-one, calling them, meeting with them, and then I found one client which I was able to get on a 6-month contract, and then use the leverage to then get other clients.
Have you found Cambro a really supportive place to start a business?
Yes, supportive in the way of other experienced business owners are supportive in regards to your family. your family and your friends starting up a new business, it can be difficult to get their support because sometimes they're about security and you're not. But in regards to when you generally go to ask someone like Lighthouse or another business owner, majority of the time just from asking, they're happy to give you that advice because they remember being in that situation. So saying that with Cambro being such a close-knit community, it's actually quite easy to find a good supportive base to help you thrive.
Have you come across any specific challenges or opportunities that you've had to get across?
The few challenges and opportunities, one of the biggest challenges, and I think most business owners would be able to have gone through this, was when you first start off, one of the biggest challenges is learning about yourself, because you're going from a structured environment to a non-structured environment. So you have to figure out your own structure with you being the manager or the person who pushes the pressure on you. So learning about what works for you, what times, what days, and figuring out structure was probably the most difficult. But after you start to build a bit of a flow around that, and you start to figure that out and do that well. And that's just something you can't really plan for. I think that you just need to kind of go in and do it. Some of the challenges and mistakes were in regards to opportunities. There's always opportunity out there. And as soon as you're looking for opportunity, lots of opportunities pop up, and it's about selecting the right one, because there's not always good opportunities. Some of them are bad, but they're disguised as good. And sometimes you can come across people who offer you this, or people who want to partner with this, or people who have an idea about this, and it can distract you from your focus and your goal. So then you're all over the place going, I'm going to try and do this, and 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 I can make it more successful. It doesn't work like that. You need to hone in and focus, and then once you get to a situation where you can, you're doing well, then you can look at other opportunities.
And how did you go about finding your niche?
The niche came from who I guess you could say who I knew in regards to my network and how I related to them the most. Because I've got a lot of, like, my partner's a PT, my sister's a PT, my best friend's a PT. I've actually studied it as well, and I've been working out in the fitness industry for a while, and I know about the elements of design, sales and marketing, and through that I've kind of heard about the different issues, like in regards to how competitive it is and the day-to-day issues personal trainers have and gyms have. And because I've worked in other positions in advertising and that, I've learned inside information that I don't believe not everyone has. And I've also given advice to other people for free, just not thinking about it, who they've actually seen improvements. So then when I really sat down and worked on it, I was just like, compared to other industries, I just knew more about this one. And so far the things that I've implemented in have worked really, really well.
And if you've got any tips to share with somebody who's considering starting a business, what would they be?
The tips and advice that I would say is come up with something that solves a problem, and take it to market to see if it works. And sometimes it's best not to get too emotionally attached with what you originally set out to do, because it tends to be you could go, cool, this is the perfect thing. It's the perfect thing because you think it's the perfect thing. But when you take it to market, you need to have the flexibility that you can add and change a few things, because once it's out there, people can give you advice that goes, oh yeah, that's not exactly it, but we want this and we want this, and that's how you refine and get the perfect service or product that you can offer. And don't be afraid to really reach out and speak with someone who might be a successful business owner and go, hey, I would like a mentor, or I would like this. So then you avoid all those really crucial mistakes. And I understand why they say a lot of businesses fold in the first 12 or so months of business, because there is so much to learn, and sometimes it can be solo and lonely, and you have this little bit of an ego to you. Could be an ego, but also to say that I can do everything myself. I can do this, I don't need anyone, I don't trust anyone, that type of thing. And sometimes that's, very much you have to do your due diligence in regards to meeting with people, but also you need to be open to, looking for help. Everyone needs help, and you just need to kind of ask for it sometimes, and that will get you through those hard points.
A lot of small businesses struggle with the whole digital space, getting online, especially if they're really good technicians in what they do. Sometimes that can be a bit of a black art. Have you got any tips for a business who's starting out and needs to get an online presence?
My recommendation, my advice in regards to if you do want to get an online presence, it is for most people, but it's still not for all, so you need to really figure out if it is for you or not. And also what I'd say is, with anything good, in this world, you usually have to, in regards to business, you usually have to pay for it. Try and avoid your friend's friend who's a designer who says you can kind of put this together for you for a really cheap price, for free or for $100 or something like that. Avoid that. Go to an expert and go to an expert. And also, when you go to an expert in regards to designing something for your website in the digital space, go for someone who has a knowledge and expertise in marketing as well. And the reason I say that is, they build the website based on how they market to the audience that you want to focus on. When a designer tends to be, they design it based on the design elements. So it might look very, very pretty and it might work okay, but it's not talking to the people it needs to talk to when they visit the website. So to find, and not everyone does that, but to find, someone who's good at designing but also has a marketing approach, and then you've got an effective website, because it's all well and great for you to pay a lot of money to get a visually appealing website. But if it's not generating any traffic and it's not converting leads for you, then it's, to me, it's not worth having.
And you hear all of this about search engine optimization, making sure you're on social media, that type of thing. How do you integrate them all together?
Yeah, there's a lot of buzzwords out there, like SEO. People throw social media. Social media is the new buzzword that people throw out. It's about consistency. So your website, your social media, let's say your LinkedIn, SEO. It's all part of the one circle. So everything needs to be consistent. It needs to be integrated together. So for me, it all comes from a content side of things. So you need to make sure the content and the messaging are right, and then you need to make sure that content and messaging is consistent across all areas. And that means that if someone finds you by the web and then decides to visit your Facebook page, and then or if they find you in Google, whichever way they find you, they tend to research the other elements of your business as well. And you need to make sure that's consistent and that's valuable, and that content is set right. Otherwise, you could say to someone, no, social media is just going to work for your business, or SEO is just going to work for your business, or just a website. There's no one key element that's this special holy grail that's just going to drive your business. It's everything together, connected, integrated, set together nicely, but the front of it is driven by content.
Thank you so much for your time today, Adam,
No worries.
For sharing your story.
Thank you so much.